What's up, nosy neighbors? I'm back with another video. Imagine losing your friend in Punta Cana for 7 hours. Crazy. I'll leave my commentary for the end. Watch this video with me.
Let me tell y'all how. We had to call the cops, call the embassy, and my best friend went missing for 7 hours. So we're in Punta Cana celebrating my other best friend's bachelor party, and y'all saw what happened on the last video. He tore his knee up. I'm talking about ACL, MCL, it's all gone. In the midst of that, we could not find my best friend. We couldn't find him before we got on the boat. Went on the boat party, they took us to the sandbar. And at the sandbar, there's like 20 different boats. They let you off the boat, and then they'd be like, all right, it's time to go. You get back on the boat. I don't know what happened, but I do know we were drinking a lot of rum punch. Keep that in mind. So we get back on the boat, and we start asking around, like, have you seen this person? We showing them a picture, like, have you seen him? Have you seen him? We go check the bathroom. We can't find him in the bathroom. We can't find him nowhere. Well, at this point, I'm like, nah, like, he probably ended up on another boat. We gonna meet him back at the drop-off location. We get back to land, he's not there. So then I'm like, all right, let me go check the Airbnb. Now, while that was happening, my homie was taking care of my other homie that tore his knee up, remember? Get to the Airbnb, he's not there. So I'm like, bro, where is he? At this point, it had been like 2 hours or 2.5, maybe 3 hours since we seen him. And we were like, we gotta call his wife to get his password, because maybe he's trying to call his phone off of WhatsApp or something. So my homie called his wife, get the password, but she's asking why you need his password. So now we got to tell her husband's lost. We haven't seen him in 3 hours. And at this point, I'm thinking we gonna find him. I'm like, bro, there's only so many boats that's out here. He has to be on one of them. So at this point, I'm talking to some of the other people. I'm like, yo, have you seen this guy? He's missing. He didn't get back on our boat. They're saying, oh, there's another drop-off location. He's probably down there. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'm gonna go walk down there. Walking down there meant walking 2.5 miles, right? So I start walking. Mind you, it's maybe like 5:30, sun is setting. So at this point, it's starting to get dark. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna have to turn around. So I turn around, I walk back. I don't find him. I walk down there towards where they say the drop-off location is. I don't find him. I start walking back. I get back to the Airbnb. There are 7 police officers. I'm like, oh, what happened? My other homie laid up with the ice pack on his. We got the cops all in the Airbnb. They taking pictures of passports. They going through the rooms. They trying to figure out if we had something to do with it, what happened, give us the description, send us pictures, blah, blah, blah. In the midst of all that, we still have his phone. So his phone's unlocked. He's getting notifications and stuff, but it's not him. My fiance's like, does he have his Apple Watch on? We like, yeah, he do. So we go to find his last location pinged 34 minutes ago. Hold on, I gotta go through customs. I'm gonna hit y'all back. This is part 2 to how we had to call the cops, call the embassy, and my friend went missing for 7 hours. We got his last known location because his Apple Watch pinged 34 minutes ago. We're on the phone with all of his family members at this point. There's probably 8 people merged in on the call trying to figure out what happened. They're like, oh, what, do you need money to get there? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, I already ordered the Uber. We're on the way. Mind you, where he's at is literally 2.5 miles away. When I went the first time, I just couldn't find him. It got dark. I'm like, I gotta get back to check in with them to make sure they know where I'm at. Cause at that point, they didn't know where I was at. Anyway, get in the Uber driver driving slow as heck. Now y'all know how they drive in DR. They get in where they fit in. He driving slow as ever. We like, bro, speed it up, rapido. We get to Jellyfish. Know where Jellyfish is? It's a long road to get back there. Jump out the car. We go through Jellyfish. We like, hey, we just looking for a person. His Apple Watch is pinging here. Get there. We walk all the way back through the beach. Because at this point, we thinking he's sitting on the beach, right? Because his Apple Watch is pinging back there. He's not there. So there's 2 resorts. There's one to the right and there's one to the left. At first, we tried to go to the one to the left. Now, if you know about these resorts, you got to have the wristband to get on the property. They're not going to let you in. So we telling security like, hey, we're looking for somebody. His Apple Watch is pinging here. We need to go. He's like, no, wristband. We like, no, we need to go. But he didn't let us in. So we like, all right, we're going to go to the other side and see if it's pinging over there. We go upstairs. There's like a rooftop party going on. We asking the people there, they spoke really good English. We asking them, hey, have you seen this guy? And we gave him the description. Bald head, thick beard, short, and had on some shorts, no shirt. They're like, yes, he's here. They only let one of us in there to go see. He goes back there and it's another random dude, bald head, beard, wearing some shorts. We like, no, that's not him. We back at square zero. At this point, my homie's like, we gotta go back to the other resort. We started walking back there. I'm like, bro, I'm thinking about we just need to jump the wall and then we can get low, we can get through there. Security's sitting there lacking. We crept right along the edge of the property line. We ran. Somebody's wedding reception was going on. We cut right through there. I'm sorry, we cut through our reception. We had to go through there. The workers started following us. We just kept pushing. So now we're following the Apple Watch location. At this point, his phone only has like 6%. So we're like, bro, we gotta find him. Last known location, it pinged again, 0.0 miles away. Literally, we're sitting right on top of him. Pause. So then at this point, my homie just started yelling out his name. Casey! He said, yeah? I said, is that him? I said, nah, bro, that's not him. Because at this point, we see somebody sitting on like a patio. The homie said, Kaysen, yeah, like we bothering him. We said, bro, what are you doing? This man had too much rum punch and ended up on the random resort in Punta Cana. Hold on, I'm going to give y'all part 3. I got to go pick up my bag. So here's part 3 to how we had to call the cops, call the embassy. My friend went missing for 7 hours. So we finally found him. He's sitting on somebody's patio. And so we're like, bro, come on, let's go, man. You've been missing for the last 7 hours. He's like, what do you mean? I'm on the resort with my wife. Bro, what? He's like, yeah, I thought I was at the resort with my wife. Like, it looks like the same resort, me and my wife. We like, bro, no, you in Punta Cana right now. He's like, oh. Like, he's laughing at this point. We being so serious. We like, bro, you in trouble. We had to call the cops. Your parents called the embassy. You've been missing for 7 hours. We couldn't find you. He's like, bro, no. He's like, he thinking we lying to him. I'm like, bro, no. So at this point, we called his wife back. My homie jumps on the phone with his wife because he don't know where he at. We found Kaysen. He's good. He's safe. He just drunk too much rum punch. He doesn't know where he's at right now. So at this point, we're trying to leave the resort, right? So I'm thinking, walk to the front of the resort. We could just get picked up in the front. This resort was so big, pause. We had to sneak back out the resort the way we came in and just cut through jellyfish. So we asking him questions like, bro, are you good? Did you take anything? Did anybody get you? You got any cuts? He's like, yeah, my feet hurt. He had no shoes. And then again, he had no shirt. He was just sitting on the people patio with bucket hat, shorts, just sitting there chilling. I think for him, it's not clicking that, bro, you've been missing for 7 hours. We had to call your parents. We had to call your wife. Your uncle that speaks Spanish was on the phone translating for us so that we can understand what they're saying. And then it's slowly starting to click, but he still thinks we're lying. Like, he jumps on the phone with his people. He's like, nah, like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, he's laughing about it. And we're like, bro, this is not a laughing matter. People about to get flights. People are on their way. The cops been in all through the B&B. This is not a good situation. We finally get back to the Airbnb. We run him through everything that transpired. The homie knee getting messed up on the boat. Us figuring out, okay, there's another drop-off location. Let's go down there. And then me walking down there, not finding him, coming back. In the midst of all that happening, we hear a knock on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Open up the door. It's the white shirt. It's like the captain of the Punta Cana at the police department. He pulls up. We like, we found him. So again, we trying to translate. He's like, what happened? Were you drinking? Did you just get lost? Did somebody attack you? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, just too much drink. And at this point, they're like, all right, come on, let's get a picture. So now they're laughing about it. So we jump in there, we take a picture, which is like, all right, stay in the house, don't go outside. And that's exactly what we did. Stay in that house and we didn't go outside. I think I'm gonna give y'all one more part as to what happened and why he doesn't remember anything. This is part 4 and the last part to how we had to call the cops, call the embassy, and my friend went missing for 7 hours. This is what I think what happened. We get on the boat, vibing, we having a good time. They start pouring up the mamajuana and the rum punch. I got the rum punch. I think he might have grabbed the mamajuana. Or maybe he grabbed the mamajuana and the rum punch. I don't know. Now the homie, he's not a drinker. He don't drink like that. And we pregame before we got on the boat. I think that led to him going missing. And I say that because when we got off of the boat, when we got to the sandbar, they were continuing to give us rum punch and mamajuana in the water. Like, they had a server with a floating cart going around giving everybody drinks and whatnot. Now, I think that was one cause. The second cause was that there were plenty of boats moving in and out from the sandbar. And when that was happening, they were telling us to move out of the way. So if you moved to the left, per se, and a boat came in, that means you were 2 boats away from where you were at. Now, if you moved to the right, you were, vice versa. You were closer or away from your boat. Now, I think that could have happened multiple times within that 45-minute period, which would have led him to not be close to our boat. And again, all of these boats look the same. So if you're not close to your boat, it's real easy to mistake, oh, this is my boat, let me get back on this one. So I think he got on the wrong boat, was probably looking for us, couldn't find us, and was like, okay, I just need to get back to shore. Once I get back to shore, I can figure it out. Now, I'm gonna give y'all some insider trade. When I first got on the boat's rocking up and down because it's in the water. I bumped my head going up into the boat. Now, I think the homie maybe fell or hit his head or did something when he was coming off of the boat, because when we woke up Sunday, he said he had a headache and his ribs were hurting and his shoulder was hurting. And it wasn't like a hangover headache or like body aches. It was like he was in pain almost. So I think he might have fell or maybe hit his head. That's another cause as to why he doesn't remember anything. Now, third, how he ended up on the resort. I think it was a group of people that would probably got off of the boat and walked into that resort, and security didn't check check everybody for their wristbands. And with that, he probably just walked onto the resort and was like, oh, I'm gonna sit here. He probably blacked out from all the rum punch or the mama wanted that he drunk, and he just sat down, which was probably the best thing to do, because then that just led us right to him. He wasn't like wandering the streets of Punta Cana. He wasn't, you know, down some back alley, anything like that. Like, him sitting down was probably the best thing that he did. We can laugh about this now because everybody's back home, everybody's safe, but in that specific time frame, in them 7 hours, that was the scariest, what is going on, I'm in a horror movie type situation ever. I would have never have bet, one, my homie, somebody's gonna get hurt, and then two, somebody's gonna go missing on a trip with us. Like, we gonna get back home, you know what I mean? It's crazy because right before we got on the boat, my mom was like, make sure y'all stay together and make sure everybody comes back home. And then that happens. Like, so we all good, we all safe, we looked after each other. Like, we was gonna flip DR over until we found them. So, but yeah, man, everybody's good, everybody's getting taken care of, and that's the end of the story.
And that is why I don't drink. You never know what's going to happen when you get drunk. Thank God he had some good people with him, good friends to check up on him and find him, make sure he's good. So yeah, always have good people when you're traveling, good friends, somebody you can trust. But that was a good story time. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.